Hey guys, how's it going? Not sure if anyone's here yet, but this is just going to be kind of a live mid-month update, check-in, whatever. And we'll do some reading sprints. So yeah, if anyone's around, cool. If not, that's cool. I think I'll just wait for some people to trickle in and yeah, just get going on kind of a mid-month update. I have a ton to talk to you guys about. So yeah, this one's going to be good. I might have some guests pop on for some reading sprints or whatever. But yeah, it's been really good so far. How are you guys doing? Thanks for popping in if you're here. Hi, how's it going? So if I sound a little bit weird, I'm a little bit sick. I've been sick on and off for like 2 weeks, which is not cool. And my wife is sick now, so that's cool. Hey guys, hey Penny. I will update you right now, RJ. What's up, man? So yeah, I've been a little bit sick. We went over the Easter long weekend to Portland. We went to the Oregon coast. We live about 45 minutes from the border, and we're on the western side of Canada. So what's up, Craig? Hi, Elaine. How's it going? So we drove down over the border, went to the Oregon coast. We spent a night at Seaside in Oregon, which was super awesome. Yeah, being sick is so, I'm so over it. My wife's sick now, so that's cool. I'm out of it. But yeah, so we went to Portland and we ended up going to Powell's. I don't know if anyone's been to Portland or Powell's, but Powell's is a huge bookstore and it has multiple rooms, multiple levels. It's like literally the mecca for, oh, by the way, I'll warn you guys, I've had some, I think the thing that I use to plug in my actual camera to the computer or whatever is starting to get a little bit finicky. So if the camera cuts out, I'll try and jiggle it around. And if you lose me completely, not to worry, we'll do another one of these at some point. I'll just kind of shut down. But give me a minute. If you see it go black and you can still hear me or whatever, I'm just going to jiggle this around and make sure that's working. So I'm going to try not to touch anything. But yeah, as I said, we were in Portland, went to Powell's, and I bought a ton of books, like a lot of books. And actually, it's probably the coolest bookstore I've been to just because how big it is. And we got so much stuff. We looked at so much stuff. We ended up coming home with so many different books. And I have a book haul coming. That's probably the biggest book haul I've done on the channel. That'll come out tomorrow. And there's a ton of stuff on there, so I'm super excited to share that with you guys. But I also, April 9th, I celebrated 1 year on Booktube. I still don't really know why I started this. I mean, I kind of know when I explain to people, but it's been crazy that it's a year, and I'm kind of shocked. What's up, Dan? Yeah, I don't really... It's been a crazy year. I've met a lot of people. I've done... I think I have... I don't know. I can't remember how many videos I have, but I've had a really good time, so I just want to kind of celebrate on here with you guys instead of doing a book tag. I've done a couple videos so far this month. In April, I did kind of a comprehensive Kindle breakdown video with all the models, comparing all the models, which one I think is the best, which one you should probably, go for, and the differences between them. And I compared it to the Kobo, which I actually have. And actually, after doing that video and doing some more research, I actually went out and bought a Kindle as well. So I have a Kindle and I have a Kobo. And the reason why I bought the Kindle was to do some research and figure out, because I want to do a couple more videos. And there's one video coming up where it's a video on how to read a lot faster. And it's not like clickbait, it's not whatever, like it's an actual thing that helps you read way faster, but it's only on digital screens and e-readers and like digital text, like on your phone. But I wanted to make sure, because you have to convert a file on the Kindle to make it work. So I wanted to research it and figure out exactly how to do it on the Kindle so that I can explain to you guys properly how to do it. So that one's coming out, and I've been playing with the Kindle. I just got the Paperwhite, and honestly, I've been chilling. Like I love it. It's super nice. It's slick. I like I don't know, it's really light and it's really thinner than the Kobo. So I'm kind of playing between both, and I'm enjoying it. I've been having probably the best reading month in the best reading year that I've ever had, to be honest. I read Legend this month by David Gemmell, and it was awesome. Like I think about that book a lot since I finished it. And I'll do a wrap up, obviously, but on the surface, it's just kind of an okay classic 1980s fantasy book. I'm talking about Legend by David Gemmell for people that are just popping on. But when you read it in the context of knowing that the author was worried about a potentially terminal cancer prognosis, like he thought he had cancer, and he's waiting to hear from the doctor to see if he's going to die or not. The book is actually really deep and very metaphorical, if that's a word. And it's really, really emotional. And so like on the surface, it's just an okay fantasy book, but there's so much packed into that book, and it's quite deep actually. And so I really enjoyed it. I really like the character of Druss, and I just want to read so much more David Gemmell. Now I understand why, people love him. I also just finished for the first time Lies of Loch Lamora, and that was an absolute pleasure. Like I had so much fun with that book. Scott Lynch is an incredible writer. I didn't know that the writing would be so good. Yeah, get a pop socket. I know. We were joking with Dan the other day. That's actually not a bad product, to be honest, like to put a pop socket on the back so you can kind of hold it. It's not a bad idea. But yeah, that Gentleman Bastard series, I can't wait to continue with that. I've had a blast with it. It was one of the best books I've read. Easy 5 stars. I gave Legend 5 stars just because how it impacted me. And like I said, if you read that in the context of kind of a, reading it a different way, it means a lot more. And the Gentleman Bastard series, I really want to continue. That was an easy 5 stars for Lies of Loch Lamora. I'm reading right now an arc. I talked about it a little bit, but it's by Alexander Darwin, and it's the arc of the combat codes, which is kind of blending fantasy and martial arts. And it's pretty cool. It's set in a world where like basically war is replaced, like weapons are replaced by like basically hand-to-hand combat by designated like people. And then that's how they settle conflicts and disputes and stuff between countries and territories and stuff. It's very interesting. So I'm enjoying that so far. I'm like 10% in. I'm just, I'm basically just started it. But I'm also gearing up to start Jade War pretty soon. I think I'm also finishing. I read the last half of Storm of Swords this month as well. So I'm in the last like quarter of it, and I'm savoring it. So I'm chipping away at the last half of that this month as well. So that's why this is probably going to be the last book that I finish this month, because I can only really read like 5 books a month. And so if you consider half of Storm of Swords like a book, that's probably what I'll finish. What else? I did those two. What video did I do? I did the Kindle video. I also did my April TBR. So I only did those 2 videos, but I also did 2 shorts. And one of them was, I get questioned a lot on like how I protect my hardcovers with like the sleeves that I have. Sometimes you'll see the glare on the camera, and it doesn't look great on camera, but it looks nice in person. And they make the colors pop on the covers and stuff, like the colors pop. So I like those. And I did a little short on like how I do that. Brian Lee Durfee actually has a really good video on how to do that. And he also has like sticky paper that he puts on paperbacks as well. So that was kind of cool. And then I did a little bit of a Blitz like shelf tour showing some of my favorite books that I have on there. Quick little short. I'm kind of experimenting with that. Also, let me know. I have some music playing. If it's too loud, let me know and I'll cut it. What's up, Mike? What's going on? Hey, Matt. How's it going, man? Yeah, Way of Adan. I want to get to that one. So that one I put as kind of a maybe on my April TBR. I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to get to it, but I think as I mentioned in my TBR, I might just wait to, or I think I talked about it in the book haul that's coming out. I'm not sure. I think it's part of that book haul. Spoiler alert. So I think I'm going to wait until Alan does his narration because I'm so curious to hear how that's going to go. So, yeah, sweet, man. Jade War, I can't wait to read it. I'm going to read it this month, like I said, and I'm super excited. But yeah, that book haul is going to be nuts. I can't wait. It'll come out tomorrow, and I hope to get to Way of Adan at some point. But like I said, I want to wait for Alan to do the narration because I think that'll be sweet. Also, I wanted to just say that I'm going to do a little bit of a change to the fireside chats, the one-on-one fireside chats that I do with people. I'm having some more guests come on and stuff here and there. And I'm doing a bit of a change. As much as I like the Fireside Friday, and I think it's catchy and definitely on brand, I'm going to take away the Friday. I'm just going to make it a fireside chat so that I can have them with people whenever. Fridays work for me, but it doesn't always work for other people. So in order to have more guests and a little bit more flexibility and maybe do them more like maybe 2 in a week and then none the next week. I don't want to bind myself to Friday. So the next one coming up is going to be Dylan Johns. He's going to be coming on maybe like 2 weeks from now. And then I'm going to have, I also redid the thumbnail. Maybe let me know what you guys think. It kind of looks like we're on a dating show, but whatever, it's cool. And then the next one is going to be Cal, who I started Booktube with about a year ago. So that'll be kind of cool. Those are coming up at some point. I'm going to have a couple, maybe one in between there. And we're also going to be, this is kind of special. So tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I believe it's 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern time, RJ, Alex, and myself, Tall Guy Reads, RJ Reads, and myself are going to be on Alan's channel doing a Booktube, a book Jeopardy. So that'll be kind of sweet. We're doing a book Jeopardy. That'll be tomorrow on Alan's channel. So make sure to pop by and say hi and watch me embarrass myself a lot. I'm actually terrified. RJ just asked me like, hey man, like, how are you feeling about that? And the honest truth is I'm terrified because I don't really know what's going to happen. And I feel like going up against Alex is not going to work. I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to know any answers to anything. So if you want to see myself embarrass myself basically on book Jeopardy, come and pop by. Yeah, we do kind of look, I realized after that it was pretty pink. It was pretty like, listen, I like my colors. I like my pinks and purples and oranges and stuff. I like my lights. So back off and let me do my thing. So yeah, we look like we're on a dating site, but whatever, it's cool. Yeah, I've been watching a couple to kind of prep myself and figure out exactly what is expected of me, and I'm kind of worried about it, to be honest. But yeah, we will see. Yeah, happy weekend. What is everyone reading? What are you guys up to? Are you here for some reading sprints? Before we get to that stuff, also, I watched with my wife last night. Again, if the music's too loud, let me know. I can't quite hear it the right way in my headphones, so just let me know. We watched Seven Kings Must Die, which was the last installment of The Last Kingdom. I haven't read the Bernard Cornwell books. I've read the Warlord Chronicles, and I loved Bernard Cornwell's writing from what I've sampled, but apparently those are some of his best, so, you know. But I want to read the Last Kingdom books, but the reason why I didn't was because we were watching the show, and we loved it. And my wife doesn't really like historical stuff, although she's British, so like she should kind of like it, but she doesn't love medieval settings as much, and like fantasy and historical fiction. So to her, it's kind of whatever. She loved that show. She absolutely loved it. And so we loved it. And we were keen to watch this last installment when it finally came out. And so it did last night, and we watched it, and it was super, super good. Like I teared up at the end. And don't consider that a spoiler, because you might be surprised at how it wraps up, to be honest. Not everyone like dies pretty much. And, you know, it's kind of, it was nice, actually. I really liked it. The way that it kind of wraps up made a lot of sense, and it was cool. And it was historically accurate for a lot of it. And then there was a lot of little bits that were added because it is fiction, basically. And I just thought it was really well done. So I got pretty, not emotional at the end, but man, I could have cried at the end, because it just wraps up this whole epic, you know, couple seasons of, you know, just awesomeness. And so I want to read more by Bernard Cornwell. I want to read The Last Kingdom as well and go back and figure that out. So yeah, I don't think so. I'm terrified, RJ, about the Jeopardy. Yeah, I'm worried about it, man. What's up, Colin? How's it going? Finishing up the first book in the Threadlight series. That's right. I've heard a lot about that one. What is Threadlight? Is that Zach Argyle? Remind me. I can't remember what that one is. A Prophecy in Ash for a live discussion that I'm having with the author on my channel next weekend. Cool. Speaking of discussions with the author, that arc that I have, that martial arts fantasy arc, I'm hopefully going to have a chat with him, Alexander Darwin, on the channel, talking about the book. Combat Codes is the book. I don't know if I mentioned the title. And maybe Jimmy Nuts from the Fantasy Network might join us as well, because the author is a jiu-jitsu black belt. I am not a jiu-jitsu black belt, but I love jiu-jitsu, and I've been doing it for a few years, and Jimmy has been doing it for a few years as well. So that'll be kind of cool to talk about the book, but also jiu-jitsu and how that all came to be, and the inspiration and all the little fun martial artsy things inside. So if you like martial arts, you do any kind of martial arts, tune into that one, because that'll be a little bit of a book adjacent chat where we really talk about kind of the fighting and the martial arts, and like just the writing style, the choreography, and his experience in the martial arts, and like why he wrote this book, and what I think the types of readers that I think would enjoy it, because it is good for fantasy readers. But this is kind of the book that people that do martial arts and jujitsu and grappling specifically have been kind of waiting for. So it's kind of cool. It's good so far. I'm like 10% into it. Nice. I haven't read Sphere actually, and that is supposed to be one of his good ones actually. So in fact, the book haul that I'm going to do, or that's coming out tomorrow, I got a Barnes & Noble special edition of the Jurassic Park one. And I've wanted that one forever because I read Jurassic Park for the first time a little while ago, and I really enjoyed it. Like, that was super cool. So I'm stoked to have that one now. Legends and Lattes. Yeah. Yeah, you are the last person to read it, I think. It's I think Bookshops and Bone Dust or something is coming out sooner than later, I'm pretty sure. Cool. Before They're Hanged. Yeah, Abercrombie is, I'm pretty sure that's Abercrombie, is good. I want to go back and read the First Law trilogy again, because I remember it, but I wasn't like blown away the way that other people were, although the writing is incredible. I've talked about it. I'm not like the super fanboy of Abercrombie that some people seem to be. So I might be missing something. And I read that at kind of a weird time, I do remember. So, and it took me a while to get through the last book. So that's one that I'm going to go back and reread. So yeah. I've heard so many good things about those books. In fact, when Zach Argyle on Twitter announced that he was going to be doing the the Kickstarter, I guess, for like a special edition, I'm probably going to back that, because that looks pretty sweet. And I was looking to try to buy some signed copies to support him. And from what I'm told, I think I'm going to really enjoy the that trilogy. I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy, but he doesn't ship the signed copies to Canada from the States. So I was trying to figure out how to do that. Do I send it to like a PO box over the border? That's fine. And then I saw the Kickstarter thing like literally the next day. So I thought, okay, I'm going to wait and get those, because I feel like I'm going to enjoy that series. So why not? Sweet. Cool, man. Yeah. Oh, you've never read it before. I didn't know that. There you go. So if I reread it, I think you should read it. I think fans of Abercrombie and First Law will tell you, just read it. Like, it might be a favorite. Just read it. Don't wait for me. But if I reread it in the next like 6 months or something, I'll tell you, because I've been curious to go back to that. And I have the audiobooks narrated by Stephen Pacey. They're absolutely incredible. So that's probably how I would do it myself. Nice. I read The Shining for the first time, I think last year or the year before. I can't remember. And I've become kind of a Stephen King fan. You can see a bunch of them over there, and there's some down below. Stephen King's really good. I think the next one I'm going to read by Stephen King, and it's on my book haul coming out again tomorrow, is I got a nice used copy first edition of Dolores Claiborne. And apparently it's one of his best books, or apparently it's one of his good books that people really enjoy. So yeah, Stephen Pacey can make people that don't like audiobooks or don't listen to audiobooks like really enjoy audiobooks. Like that's how good he is. So nice. The Shining. Yeah. My favorite for a long time was Pet Sematary. I mean, that book just crazy. And also Salem's Lot, but Salem's Lot I want to reread, especially before going into The Dark Tower. I want to try, so next year, spoiler for next year ahead, I want to get to The Dark Tower. I really want to read The Dark Tower next year, and I'm going to try to read the whole thing. I don't know how that's going to work, but it's not that many books, and I'm pretty sure I could do that. So I think I'm going to try and prioritize The Dark Tower next year and read a couple standalones in between, like the rest of this year. But yeah, it's hard to fit in some big chunky Stephen King books, but I'm going to try my best. But next year, I think, will be the year of The Dark Tower for me. And maybe Malazan, but we won't talk about that right now. Yeah, having a signed, yeah, interesting, cool. Yeah, he's not that far. So if he's local to you, he's probably in Seattle, I guess. So he's not that far from me, actually. Interesting, because I'm like 2 hours from Seattle by driving. 9 Cornwell books I've read. Oh, there we go. Cool. Awesome. So you guys can... Yeah, cool. All right, let me just cool. That's going to be fun to work around. So we'll just let it do its thing now. I look kind of pink. Red Warlord Chronicles have been, so the Warlord Chronicles is one of my favorite trilogies I've ever read. One of my favorite series I've ever read for sure. Yeah, camera malfunction. I think I might have to come back and do this and do some reading sprints because I look really whack right now. But in fact, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can fix this. Give me 1 second, guys. I think I can make this work. I'm not positive if I can, but we'll see. Give me 1 second. Gotta love technology. It's 2023. It's sweet. We'll see if this works. Hang on. I'm just gonna do this and click that and do that. Okay. So we did that. Kinda. All right. We'll see. It kind of just cables. Yeah, Dolores Claiborne is excellent. A lot of people enjoy it. So I have Gerald's Game, and I haven't read Gerald's Game yet. But I have them, and I know. Remind me, are they connected? Because everyone kind of talks about them in the same breath, and so I wonder if they're connected at some point. I want to read Dark Tower 2. Curious how it's connected to other things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I'm curious about it too. There's a couple books that you kind of should read before. People say you don't have to read anything before reading Dark Tower, but there's a couple books like Salem's Lot where there's a character. I'm pretty sure it's Salem's Lot. Am I wrong about that? Yeah, no, I'm right, because I think it's also The Stand, right? Anyway, there's a couple books that if you're gonna read, you might as well just read them before. So yeah, I just don't know the order. I don't know the order, but yeah, interesting. Curious what you guys are reading. If you're sticking around for some reading sprints, my update's pretty much done. Let me see. I got some notes down here. What else haven't I talked about? Oh yeah, I hit 1 year, April 9th on Booktube. I'm super appreciative for all you guys hanging out and chatting with me and stuff. This is kind of the funnest part for me, is just kind of chatting with you guys. But we hit 1,670 subscribers, which is kind of nuts, because I remember hitting 100 and doing a giveaway and was like, holy shit, 100 people care. That's pretty cool. On our way to 2,000 is not unforeseeable, so that's really cool, and I just want to say thank you to everybody. That's about it. So I'm curious, what you guys are reading. I don't know what I'm gonna read. Like I said, I've been savoring the last quarter. I would say quarter at this point, 20% maybe, of Storm of Swords, and I've been reading this arc, which is cool, and I've been bouncing between the two of them. And when I need to have audio, when I'm doing something and I have audio going, I switch to Storm of Swords because I don't have an audio for the arc. So I'm curious what I'm going to read right now. I have some tea. I got this mug from Powell's. It's a Powell. Oh shit, there we go. It's a Powell's mug, and it has cats and stuff on it, which is cool. I'm kind of a cat dad apparently. So we took our cat yesterday for the first time ever to a park. Maybe I'll share a picture on my Instagram or something, and in some of the descriptions in my videos you can find my socials and whatever. But on Instagram I might share a story later of our cat harnessed in a leash in the grass just at a park, just hanging out. And it was he's an indoor cat, he hasn't really been outside, and he was kind of going nuts, and luckily he didn't try to run and dart and pull on the leash too much and carry his crate away. But we had food and stuff for him and water, and we were just reading under a tree by the park and had some snacks and stuff, and so the cat was there. And anyway, so we're kind of a cat family, so yeah. Although I've always wanted a dog, this cat was I joke that it's my redheaded stepchild, because my wife had this cat when I first started dating her, and the cat's name is Gordon. And I just fell in love with him. She went away to England for a vacation one time when we first started dating. I was sort of house sitting, cat sitting. So I'd spend the night there, here and there for she was gone for 2 weeks. Spent the night here and there, and then he would cuddle with me, and we just kind of bonded, and that was it. And so we stayed together, and the cat's just been my little stepchild. So enjoying that. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think I should read? If you're still here, what do you think I should read? Should I read the arc? Because the arc reads pretty fast. Combat Codes reads pretty fast, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not always in the mood. Here's the thing. I'm a super mood reader, apparently. I got reading ADD. Like I don't really know how to deal with that. So I always want to bounce around books. So like, for example, today I'm reading the end of Storm of Swords, and I know people are going to say like, dude, just finish Storm of Swords. Like, what are you doing? I can't read 20% of Storm of Swords in like a day or 2 or 3 or whatever. Like I'm going to need to just pick at it. I know Storm of Swords. I know, but hear me out. I really want to start Jade War 2. I'm going to finish them all in the month. I just don't know what to, like, I'm not going to start a new book on this live, am I? I don't know, man. Okay, I'm going to read either Storm of Swords or I'm going to read Combat Codes, and I'll bounce between the two. I'm not going to start another book because that's stupid, and I always do that. But I'm curious what you guys are reading. Maybe we'll do some sprints, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll sprint for a bit. That was kind of the whole purpose of this. Embrace the chaos. Yeah, man. Like, why not? And in fact, what makes me want to sort of read Jade War is I have the audiobook from Libby from my library. And that's going to expire in the next week or so, like 10 days. So it's something that maybe, yeah. Combat Codes is pretty, I'm interested. I'm definitely hooked at this point. Flip a coin. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Salem's Lot is the only must read before book 5. Okay, that's good to know that you don't have to read it like before starting, so it could actually start. That's pretty good. I might reread Dark Tower next year. When you do, I'm sure you'll draw a crowd. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to blow that up into a thing because I know there's a lot of people that want to do rereads or read for the first time. There's some veterans that I'm going to try and pull into it, and some people that are reading it for the first time with me, so I'm not alone with that. That'll be kind of cool. Read what you're in the mood for. You know what? I like you, Cassie. That's exactly what I'm thinking. We'll see. I'm going to surprise you. We'll do some sprints, and I'll read whatever I'm going to read, and we'll see how it works. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. I think, like I said, that'll be next year, and we'll see how that we'll see how that works. So that's the thing, is the Libby thing. Like I'm really trying to borrow more books from the library. I'm trying to be cognizant of that for a lot of reasons, but it's tough because they expire and then you got to renew them and whatever. And I can't quite stick to a structured TBR if I'm trying to always borrow the books. So I'm on waiting lists for some, and then they'll come in and I'll be like, should I finish this book and then just go right to this random one that I happen to get a skip the line, thing for, and I can just listen to it right now. So I really only do Libby for audiobooks. I don't borrow ebooks because I own most of them. So or I'll buy most of them because I want to have them. But audiobooks are expensive. I don't always want to use Audible credits. So I typically just go to Libby for the audiobook. And sometimes what I'll do is if I own a book in paperback or ebook, I'll also borrow the audiobook so I can continue the same book when I need to then switch and listen to something on a commute or whatever the hell. So yeah, cool. A lot of Dark Tower people. Yeah, no, RJ, I thought RJ would be down. That's awesome. Sweet. Yeah, Great Coats is one that I haven't tried, actually. I've heard a lot about them, or a lot about it. Alan, I think, was a big proponent of that series. Great Coats. Is that Sebastian de Castel or something like that? Correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do some reading or whatever. I am going to switch on. Let's do this. Maybe we'll turn off some music. I don't even know how I turned on the music, to be honest. I mean, I know how. I just don't know where to find it now. It's very tricky. There we go. Oh, you have to like click the little thing. Boom. See? We're learning together. There we go. All right. So I'm going to turn that off. And I think maybe, yeah. So again, forgive me if you're just popping on. Some technical difficulties. If the camera glitches and whatever, I'm going to try to fix it. You'll probably still hear me unless we're sprinting, in which case I'll be muted. But if the camera doesn't work in a few minutes and I can't get it to come back on, I'll probably just shut this stuff down and try this again. So for now, I'm going to sprint. I don't know about you guys. If you're here to sprint, that's cool. What time is it? It's about 12:30 my time, 3:30 Eastern, I think. So maybe we'll sprint to like the hour, I think. We'll sprint to the hour. I'll make another banner here. And And I'll just do 00 because we're all in different time zones. So we're going to, there we go, sprint to the hour. And I'm going to read something. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Colin, you'd be down probably too. Yeah. Yeah, check it out. For sure. There's also like Hoopla, and there's some other apps too. If anyone knows of like Libby type apps for Europe, UK, maybe put them in the description and help people out. But I don't really know. I thought Libby was everywhere. I'm kind of surprised to hear that. So yeah, gonna sprint for a while. I'm gonna turn some stuff off. Again, if you see glitches and stuff on the camera or the mic, whatever, it might be me trying to fix it before I come on. So not to worry. I'll just mute myself and chill. And if I see the camera go wonky, I'll turn it off and fix it. So gonna read for about half an hour. See you guys in a bit. Hello. How's it going? See, some people are reading Raira. Cool. I like Madison. You're gonna hate me. So I have a confession about Raira. I really enjoyed Raira, and it's always weird saying that word. And I read up to the third book, but I read, you know how they're split up and each book is like two books. I read up to the last. I basically have half of the last half of the third book to go, and I don't know why I never went back to it. It was on my TBR. I was going to, and I just never did. Like I don't know. I've just been saving it, I guess. I don't. I'm really bad about that. I'll go to like the end of series and then I just won't. You know what I mean? Like I just won't finish them. I don't really know. How's it going, man? There we go. What's up? Bam.
Hey,
What's up, RJ? How's it going, man?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Sounds good. You can save my stream when my fucking camera stops working. I actually figured out what happened. The battery, there's like the camera's plugged in with like a dummy battery because it's an actual camera. So the battery is just like a fake battery that's plugged in. It was overheating, and I think it just like it wasn't working because it was plugged into something that it didn't really work well with. So I took it out and it's plugged into like a separate battery pack. So like we'll see how long the camera lasts on this little battery pack. We'll see. But yeah, The Magicians. I had that trilogy. I actually unhauled it. I liked it. These weren't books that I thought that I'd keep forever, and I don't have infinite space, so I had to be selective with what I kept. But they were pretty good, actually. The Magicians trilogy by Lev Grossman. Yeah, they were pretty cool. Red Country by Abercrombie. I haven't read any of the standalones, actually. Yeah, I have only the 6th book left of Raira. Exactly. It's basically, and actually I started just a little bit of it and I was like, I'm going to save this. And then I just never got back to it. So I have like so little of that trilogy left. And I just don't know. I don't know why. I just have like ADD sometimes. What's up, man? How's it going, Chris? The heavies have arrived. Yeah. So we're not sprinting anymore. I can get rid of this fucking banner. Sorry, I'm in a bit of a mood now with this camera thing. There we go. How's it? What are you reading, RJ? What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm reading the Tower of Living and Dying. So this is book 2 in the Empires of Dust series by Anna Smith Spark.
Oh, right. You mentioned that the other day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're liking it, yeah? Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
cool,
it's pretty good.
What is it? What is it about? Like, what's the gist? What kind of books are they?
They're so it's high fantasy. It's
okay.
Kind of this. You follow a couple POVs. One of the POVs is a guy. You're following 2 people in this sort of band of mercenaries who are traveling to the city called Sorlost, and their goal is to kill the emperor. And so you follow these 2 guys. One is the leader, and then there's another guy who you don't know much about, but he's very, very important.
Okay.
And you follow a priestess in the city, and she's with this religion they serve what's called the Lord of Living and Dying. So they have to sort of balance life and death. So they sacrifice children like every week. So they just kill a child.
That's not cool. Yeah.
It's not cool. So you can tell it's pretty dark by that.
Yeah.
And then you follow this other guy. He's in the city as well, but he's sort of like a counselor. He's close to the emperor of this city. But it's
interesting.
It's really good. Yeah.
Sweet.
She's compared to R. Scott Baker a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really see it.
Okay.
Like, the city is kind of like, it would remind you of Second Apocalypse, or remind you of, there's a city called Sumna. It reminds me of that. But apart from that, there's not a ton of Baker influence.
I think I would piss a lot of people off if I say here what I told you guys in the chat the other day, which is after finishing, you're probably scared. Like, what is he going to say? Lies of Locke Lamora. When I finished that, even while I was reading it, I just got Nevernight vibes from it. It just reminded me of Nevernight so much. And it's weird because people are going to be like, dude, like Lies of Locke Lamora is great. And like, there are going to be some people that are like, dude, Nevernight's trash. Like, don't you ever compare those two. But I liked Nevernight. You know that I liked Nevernight well enough. And the way that the exposition is done, it kind of reminded me a little bit, especially on audio, which the audio for Lies of Locke Lamora was incredible. The exposition sometimes and the story when he does a little bit of like the lore in the background reminds me of the footnotes a little bit in Nevernight, and just the canals and the architecture and the dons and donnas and you know, the way the politics works and just the witty, clever kind of dialogue and like the gritty kind of back alley thieving and all that stuff. I got Nevernight vibes from it, and not to compare them too much because I think Lies of Locke Lamora is kind of a masterpiece. Like, it's unique fantasy. I thought it was exceptional. Nevernight, I don't think is on that level. But I just got like fun vibes because when I read Nevernight, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. This is different. And I got the same kind of vibes in a very fun, unique way. I just loved it. It was so good. So good. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I can kind of see that. Yeah.
You can see it, right? It's not a fair comparison, but I got the same vibe in different ways. So yeah. Super weird, right? Super weird. Yeah. So Chris, I have Lonesome Crown on my book haul that's coming out tomorrow, and that completes my set. So RJ was nice enough to gift me The Forgetting Moon. So I bought the second and eventually I bought the third. And I think I'm going to try and prioritize RJ, have you read Five Warrior Angels yet? Have you read even the first?
No, I haven't read it yet. So
you planning to, or like?
Yeah. It's one of those series that I'm trying to keep sort of in the locker. So when I'm in a slump, I know I can pick that up, because what I've heard from that is I'm 99.9% sure
you and I are supposed to love it. Yeah, you and I are supposed to love it just from what people say and the way that it's pitched. There's a couple things that people always say where I'm like, yeah, that shit's for me. Sweet. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. Oh, it's Madison's birthday is it today? It was yesterday, wasn't it? No, it's today, April 15th. It's Madison's birthday. Madison. So as a birthday present, if you haven't subscribed to Madison, go check out Madison Goodyear's channel. She's awesome. Such a sweetheart. One of my best friends on Booktube. And go wish her a happy birthday. Maybe subscribe as a birthday present. Fever Dream, I think, is it just you, Madison, who's reading it? Or no, you and Steph are reading it together. I was going to read Fever Dream. Have you ever read it? You haven't read a whole lot of King other than Dark Tower. I was going to read it at some point and I didn't. I don't know why, but I wonder. I'm going to see if it's good. These girls will tell me if it's good or not. And we'll see. Yeah.
Isn't Fever Dream George R. R. Martin?
Sorry. George R. R. Martin. Yes, of course.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. Sorry. In my head, I was thinking Stephen King. It's not.
It sounds like a Stephen King book.
And that's why I was going to read it, is because George R. R. Martin was like known for Game of Thrones. And I was like, I didn't read Game of Thrones and I wasn't going to. So I was like, maybe I'll just read that kind of one off. And I think that's what I was thinking about. Yeah. Apparently there's some epic shit that happens in that trilogy. So I'm excited. Mad Dog Madison. Sweet. So you're reading that book, RJ, that you mentioned, right? What's on the docket next? Like, what do you stick? Legend? Okay, yeah, man.
Legend.
Yeah, I talked about it at the beginning of the stream. Legend is awesome. Yeah. So I was on a on a Facebook group. Like, I was looking at a post on a Facebook group, and somebody happened to post. This was like an international sci-fi fantasy like group, and somebody posted, and they're like, "Am I missing something? Like, everybody seems to love Legend. You know, the character work isn't 100% all there. The plot moves pretty quick. It was a little bit whatever. It was kind of bland. Like, why do people love this book?" And I made the comment in that post that I told everybody here. I'm like, you have to read it in the context of knowing that the author thought he might die. And so it's quite dark, and there's so much embedded metaphor and meaning and emotion near that's sort of built up to at the end of the book. Not to mention, he's just good at like sword and sorcery shit and like and combat and swords and shields and just like kind of war, you know what I mean? And that's not really what this is about. Really, it's about like one long siege at the last battle with the biggest army at this last sort of defendable stronghold. So it's a siege. It's not really a battle, but his writing is so good. So the characters aren't. You're not supposed to be thinking about all these characters forever. Druss is really your guy, and there's a couple tropes in there that, you know, or you got to read it and give it some slack from 1980s fantasy. Like it is what it is. But I loved it. Like it's probably one of my top 5 books of the year already. I just know. It just impacted me in a different way. Like I picked up on a lot of those things that I don't know if I was supposed to, but the way I interpreted it, it just meant a lot. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
I want to pick up Legend. And if I like that, I'm going to be picking up. There's another series called Regante.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that a lot. That's right.
Yeah,
oh, it's only 4.
It's 4 books. There's the first book I think is Sword in the Storm, but I've heard it's very like Celtic inspired.
Oh,
it's kind of like
cool.
It's kind of like Faithful and the Fallen. A lot of people
see. I was going to pick up the next Draenei book, which is the series we're talking about. Legend is sort of the first book in the Draenei series. That series is pretty long. Like there's quite a few books, I think, right? So maybe that one is a good one to, I don't know. Why wouldn't I just continue with, this is what I do, RJ. I'm like, oh, I really like that. But like, what if I really like this? And I just fucking bounce all around. Stupid. Idiot. Just read what you're enjoying and just like stick with something. Yeah. I don't know. It's terrible. But anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was joking about with people. So, spoiler, like I read Storm of Swords while we were sprinting, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm in that last little bit. But like I keep looking. I think here's my thing too. I listen to audio. I read a lot of ebooks, but like I like having books on the shelf.
Yeah.
And and whenever I look at one, I'm like, I just want to pick that up. It to me, it just attracts my attention more than the ebook that I know that I have on my device. Yeah. So I see this on the shelf or on my table, and I just want to read it, even though I know that that's probably not what I should be doing right now. I should probably just continue what I have on the go. But because it's a physical and I have it, and it's so pretty, I just want to read it. So I don't know. Yeah. That's why when people message me sometimes and they're like, hey, like, you know, would you want to read this book, or can I send you a copy of this book? I'm like, yeah. They're like, do you want an ebook or a physical or whatever? I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. If it's a physical, I'm just going to get to it sooner because I'll have it on the shelf. It's pretty. I can look at it. I can smell it. Not that that's weird. And it's there. But if it's an ebook, like, I don't know, man, it'll probably just get buried. So, you know, I just like having physicals. Yeah. Like, 80s fantasy was different. It was nuts. Sorry, Chad, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, no, like I have a book over there. It's The Adventures of Aminu al-Sarifi.
Oh yeah, right.
By Shannon Chakraborty.
Yep.
Like I really want to read that, even though I've never read anything by her. Like I haven't read what's it called, the Davabad.
City of Brass, whatever.
Yeah.
So I did. I read City of Brass, and I'm going to have people unsubscribe probably. But I think did I put it on my top 5 most disappointing? I think I did. And the reason why, if I didn't, it could have been on there. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to, and I bought all 3 books because they're absolutely stunning. Like they're beautiful, beautiful books, but it just didn't really work for me. Like it was I wanted kind of Arabic, Egyptian, desert fantasy, but I didn't really care too much about the story. Like I thought the writing was good, and I thought the plotting was pretty good, but by the end I wasn't like, oh my God, I need more of this. So I kind of just left it, and then I stopped thinking about it. So I've asked people if this book is different. Like if I didn't love City of Brass, could I give this one a shot? And people say, yeah, because it's different enough. I think it's nautical. It's all like on a ship, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
I think so.
So people are like, yeah, and she's gotten better as a writer, like, you know, so why not? So I would, if I were you, I would actually start start there and see how, and because I'd be curious what you think about it too.
Yeah, and I think it's
Yeah.
a
Pirates.
standalone, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
I
would
don't
think
know.
so.
Yeah.
At least for now.
Mhm.
I'm also thinking about the Stardust Thief. That one always comes up in my head too. And that one's a series, supposed to be. But yeah. Oh no. It
Oh,
was a huge bummer. I wonder what you
oh.
didn't like about it. Did you, now I have a question, Cassie. Did you read the Devabad trilogy? And if you did you like it? And if you didn't, how come? I'm curious. But for people that have only read that, I'm curious what they think. But yeah, a lot of people compare that one with the Devabad trilogy or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Haven't. I see that one a lot, and it's one that like the cover is super sexy. So every time I pass it in a bookstore, I'm always like, God damn, that would look nice on the shelf. But like, am I going to read it? Like, probably not soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's too much to
I don't
read.
know. I just kind of have it on display,
Yeah,
kind
it's a
of,
nice
so
one.
I see it because I see it like all the time.
Yeah,
Like the UK covers like different as
yeah, yeah.
well, so it's not that
So
weird
one of the nicest
thing.
covers that I've ever gotten is a book that I'm gonna have this one on my book haul too. And I did it. This is the book that I wrapped in the short with my like the cover the protection or whatever. I'll show you. Hang on. It's this one.
Oh yeah,
Like super
yeah.
sexy. Give me one sec. And the cool thing about this one, which I'll show in the book haul, is it's actually signed. And I don't really see many signed books in the wild, like at a bookstore.
Hmm.
But this one was like the cover is super. There we go, my stupid face. The cover is super sexy, and yeah, this one just happened to be signed. So I was like, I'll buy that. Let's see. Yeah, cool, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
that's
and I
pretty
haven't
cool.
read this. This is the kind of the sequel to the Priory of the Orange Tree. They're both standalones, but they're in the same world, I guess, same universe. Okay,
No,
what?
no tractor riding
No tractors.
today. No tractors
How did that
today.
come about? People troll you about the tractor stuff in the different discords
It's
and
because
stuff.
I'm
How did
Irish. It's
it's just
because I'm
because you're
Irish.
Irish? You get a
Yeah,
lot of shit because you're Irish. You should probably change that. But
that's
no,
it.
I'm just
Can I?
kidding.
How do I
Don't
change
never
that?
change who you are. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no, never change. I'm far too Irish at this point. It's like, would I ever leave here? I've generally thought about like, what if I moved to America or Canada or even
W-
like England? But like, I
Would
don't know. Like,
would you choose America over Canada? That's like really? Would you?
I don't know. My brother was in Orlando for 2 weeks there,
Yeah.
and like he's told me some stuff, and I'm like, that's too culture shock for me. Like I just
Yeah.
wouldn't vibe with it
Yeah.
at all. So
Oh,
yeah,
it felt kind of cheap, kind of flat. Interesting. Okay. Great representation though, and some interesting lore and history, but just wasn't for me. Yeah, sometimes things just don't work. Like one that I point to that just didn't really work for me was what the hell was it? N.K. Jemisin. What was the series called?
oh,
The
Broken Earth.
Broken Earth.
Mm.
So the fifth season. I read that and I don't know. It was all right, I guess, but but like the ideas were good, and the lore and some of the backstory and the world was very interesting. But like it just didn't do anything for me.
Because I got stuck behind two, I think two today,
Really? You
or
just see
no,
him driving
the
down the
past
road?
week, the
Yeah,
past week. I'd say it's about 6 or 7 probably,
yeah,
if I
yeah,
had to guess.
yeah.
It's a lot.
Depending on where I go, I get stuck behind some too. To be honest, if you're out in the middle of
Um,
nowhere, it happens out here too. Believe it or not.
yeah.
Um, Not that this is true. Not all of America is Orlando, so that is good to keep in
Yeah.
mind.
Like
America is
I would
big,
have to, yeah, I would have to move to like the middle of nowhere
bro.
in America.
Yeah, you would.
That's
You would.
where I'd have to go,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So um
Your your photo looks like you sell ranchers in Arizona. Did you sell any houses this weekend? What was the commission?
I love that photo, Jimmy. It's iconic.
It's so
It's such an
it's so good.
iconic picture of Jimmy.
It's funny because this picture of Jimmy is like he could either be a realtor or an accountant or whatever, or he could be like the dirtiest, darkest like criminal. Because like that photo, you like could literally be he could be a child molester. This photo, he could be anything. He's not. He's not, as far as I know.
I just want to say that for legal reasons.
For legal reasons. But that picture, you could literally, like, you don't know what he could do. And actually, it's funny because Jimmy could like destroy a lot of people. Like he can fight, he can wrestle. Like he's not, you know, like I wouldn't like tap him on the shoulder and like pick a fight at a bar. But you would never tell from that photo, which is kind of the whole point, I think, you know? Yeah.
Yikes.
Listen, this is off the cuff, man. It took a turn and I couldn't steer us back quick enough, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. Definitely unhinged for sure. Like,
But Jimmy, I've seen those sprints with Alan. With Alan.
Jimmy is also the kind of person that I think is quite a bit bigger. Like he has more of a presence in person, I would suspect. So you know what I mean? So like you still probably wouldn't want to go, like you'd probably want to just go up to him and buy him a beer just so like everything's fine and you can just kind of hang out around him and not get picked on. So yeah. Selling Knicks to college boys. Wow.
My brother brought home Crocs and I made fun of him for about 2 days.
Orlando, right?
Yeah. He brought home Crocs and I just made fun of him for the whole time he was here.
Yeah, that's awesome. My dad has Crocs, but he's also missing a toe, so I can't complain. I can't make fun of him. Yeah, I'm not agreeing with you, but it sounds like you're saying you have a 5 head, which is interesting. All right. Yeah. So Dan, I was telling Dan, Dan is someone I just want to go and hang out with. Like he's if you haven't checked out Dan's channel, go check him out. He's the Black and Blue Collared Reader. He's super funny and he's just hilarious. Like go check. I want to do a live with a couple of us and have Dan on. That I think would be hilarious. Like he's hilarious. So it's an 8. Bro, listen, Jimmy is like Booktube royalty by now. He has 12,000 subscribers. Like you got to be nice to Jimmy. You know what I mean? Like don't make enemies, you know? Although he's saying the same thing about himself. So that's fine. Yeah, Madison, we got to, listen, we have to plan like a Booktube convention or something. Something where we're not important enough to go. But Jimmy would go and we might be able to crash the party if we play it right. That would be really cool. Somewhere central, somewhere like smack in the middle of the States where like people can kind of just go to. That would be awesome. That'd be really cool. Yeah, if we have Dan on, it's gonna get demonetized in a heartbeat. Dan, you got to follow the new YouTube rules where you can't swear in the first like 15 seconds or something. You know what I mean? Like you gotta watch that. You gotta make money. We're all doing Booktube to get super rich, so you can't mess around with the algorithm or the rules. Like you have to just kind of play. So. Watch Dan get like 50,000 subscribers tomorrow just because he shit on Jimmy. Like, stupid. Yeah. We'd be on standing room only. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a lot of logistics because it's not only getting everyone to a place and having people stay and whatever and like what it is that we're going to do and where, but like just the amount of people. Like we're just spitballing, but like I have a feeling that would actually be pretty popular and like there'd be a lot of people that would be able to go, and I feel like there would be more people than we would anticipate, and so we'd be like, oh shit, like how do we like do this? How do we accommodate this? And what do we do? Like where do we go? You know what I mean? I do some photography and street photography stuff on the side. And for a while I was part of some groups where we'd go out and just walk the streets downtown and take shots and stuff and shoot cars and shoot guys downtown and not shoot pictures.
I know what you mean by shit. Yeah.
Pictures.
I know what you mean.
So we would do that. And there was a couple guys that had YouTube channels and they came to town and they did like a photo walk where we like did photography and just all walked around as a big group taking different shots and stuff, shooting random people. And it was a lot of people. It was like a couple hundred people. And we very quickly figured out, no, we can't loiter in front of that building. No, the security won't let us take a picture in that hotel. No, we can't park the car in that thing and have 50 people around this Porsche because like you can't. So like the logistics got pretty crazy. Tanner, listen, you can't come on this channel and propose that we call this Booktube Con NutCon. As much as I think that name is, you know what, fuck it, we'll call it NutCon because it's
we'll just call it that. What if not?
The more I read it, the more I'm like, that's probably what we need to call it.
It'll be really
it just
confusing.
makes sense. Yeah,
It'll
it just
be
makes
really
sense. Yeah, we're gonna need to get a license or something. Be like, no, like this is about books. Are you sure? Yes. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah.
Wild, bro.
Yeah. Let's plan NutCon. That'll be sweet. Like in between our sprints, we'll just plan NutCon 2024. That'll be good.
Let's go.
Yeah, I
would definitely fly out for that. Like I'd 100% fly out for it.
Yeah, no, I know. There's been a couple. There's a few kind of big booktubers that have had people try and plan something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. It'd be really cool. And one thing I'm jealous of is like I know Jimmy was able to meet Philip and Alan and everybody, and like I was in I was in Orlando too around Christmas, and I was supposed to meet Alan, and then Alan like he had to go and almost die, which was super inconvenient for me because we couldn't meet each other. And then Leslie, I basically didn't have time and then forgot to message her. She messaged me being like, dude, you're in my backyard at Disney World. I'm like, oh man, I totally forgot. So I could have met some booktubers out there. That would have been really nice, but I didn't. But I've since meeting you guys, I've always kind of joked about you guys are a reason to travel. Like I'd go to Ireland and crush a pint with you. Like 100%. We got to do that. We'll document it. Yeah. Everything is content. We'll make some videos. It'll be awesome. And I really want to go out and meet Alex, man. Like I just want to give Alex a hug because he's a bro. Like I just love that guy. So
yeah, gotta do it.
Yeah, confused. Yeah, we get we definitely don't want to like advertise that everywhere. We want to make sure that people know what NutCon is. Like, so yeah.
Can have it in November. Can't have it in November.
No NutCon November. Dude.
In the venue. Like in the venue.
Yeah.
Like,
or just
how
to
big
it.
Is this venue gonna be? I'll drive on to it. Like not a problem.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'll do that. I come in on a tractor to Gangster's Paradise.
Do you guys have like the equivalent to like prom in Ireland? Like, did you go to a prom and did you drive a tractor to prom?
No.
Or would you if you could redo it? Because that would be kind of cool. Yeah. Pop out in a suit, 3-piece suit out of a tractor. That'd be kind of gangster.
Some do. That's very popular with weddings here.
Really?
That's very popular with weddings here. Yeah, a lot of weddings you'll get that people will just turn up in tractors.
That's fucking weird.
It's crazy. It's weird. Look, bro, we're cultures. That's how I would describe myself. You have townies and you have cultures.
Okay.
Townies is usually accompanied by you towny bastard. Like,
I get it. Okay. You know I get it. So, I get it.
Yeah. So
Irish people.
I'm definitely a culture. Yeah.
It sort of all makes sense now, to be honest. I lived in Iowa, and there were some tractor prom rides. Interesting. So this is not a novel idea. This is shit that happens sometimes. Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Oh my god. I have to tell you about this because I think I've told you this before probably, but I want to get I want to get reactions to this.
Okay.
So this is a very old thing in a very particular part of Northern Ireland.
Okay.
That we would do this. So what it is it's called a doon.
Okay.
So what you would do is you would take is for weddings. So you would take the bride and groom. The bride and groom don't know about this, and you will cover them in stuff like sawdust, ketchup, mayonnaise, whatever you can find. Basically.
Like at the wedding?
No, this is before the wedding, usually a couple of weeks before. And you throw them in the back of a tractor. You throw them like in the trailer, the back of tractor, and you drive round the town while honking.
Nice. You assault them and then abduct them. basically,
Yeah,
is what you're.
yeah,
Okay,
essentially what you do.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood.
Yeah,
That sounds horrific,
it is.
and I
Yeah.
don't want that to ever happen to me. So,
No, no,
yeah.
you definitely don't want. I've seen this like numerous times. Like it's an old thing, so it's not as common now, but
Although
it definitely used to be a thing.
I'm reading Storm of Swords, and a lot of shit happens in that book. And like, don't they do that? Don't they like strip you down naked and shit, and like carry you off to bed and stuff for the weddings in Song of Ice and Fire? I'm pretty sure. I
Probably.
don't know if I'd want to get
Probably
stripped down
happens.
naked and carried up
Mhm.
to bed, but prefer some ketchup and a ride in a tractor, to be honest. Oh God. All right. Culture weddings. Yeah, he probably understands more than most, to be honest.
Yeah, Chris understands
You
the
might,
culture wedding.
yeah, you
The
might
brown
go to jail.
shoes. Yeah.
Jeez. All right. So, what do you think we should do? I'm basically at the mercy of this battery pack that is keeping my
Mm,
camera alive until I can figure out another dongle that won't explode. So, I got some
okay.
time. Are you around
Yeah.
for a bit? Do you want to like?
Yeah,
Do you want to?
I'm around for whatever. Yeah.
Let's
Like,
sprint for a bit.
yeah.
Let's do 30 minutes again. We'll sprint to the hour.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, if I pop off, if the camera starts doing weird things, hang out. RJ's here, and I'll try and fix it and pop back on. But for now, we'll just mute. We'll sprint a
Yeah.
little bit. And yeah, happy reading. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
What's up?
Not
My
much.
my battery pack is going strong. It's good. It's good to know that if I had a power outage, I can plug in a light or my phone, you know.
Cool.
We get a lot of power outages. I've had more power outages here than I've had in anywhere else that I've lived in the last couple of years. It's crazy. Do you guys get power outages a lot at all?
No, not really. Not a ton.
No? Fuck, I get like a couple.
No.
I've had like probably one a month. Like it's weird.
Oh,
It's crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we're just poor and we live in a place where we just don't have power. Maybe I forgot to pay my bill. Like maybe it's a sign.
Maybe you should. We should do that.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
a good
maybe I
idea.
should double check. Yeah. When it's off
Yeah.
for a week, that means you fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Terrible. Are you liking your book?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been going good. They
Cool.
so they're on a ship,
Okay.
one of the POVs, and they've decided a good idea would be to for a flag use a dead horse. So, that's
Like the whole horse as
yeah,
as a thing.
yeah.
It's pretty
It's like
heavy.
it's like a foal. It's like a foal. So it's like a newborn horse. So they've decided it's dead. So they've decided, well, it's a lucky horse, so we'll use it as a flag. You know.
I mean, it's not what I would think of or do, but
No,
I guess that
neither
makes
would I.
sense. And yeah, fuck. When are we gonna reread Faithful and the Fallen?
July. Do you want to start
Starting in
July?
July? Might as well.
July. I think July would be a good thing. I don't want to really overlap
Yeah.
with the Song of Ice and Fire reread.
Yeah, good call. Let me ask your opinion.
Hmm.
There's so much that I want to read, and
Yeah.
I know that after Storm of Swords, everything's going to just feel not as good, but I know that A Song of Ice and Fire is still awesome. We have those two last books. I've heard that that's where the writing gets kind of different, and then those two books were the ones that were kind of split, so it follows different characters.
Yeah.
Can I stop after Storm of Swords for a bit, like a couple months? Like I might just bail out of that read along and just read some other stuff, and then come back to those last two books, kind of at the end of the year. Or do you think I should just continue?
I don't know because I've only read like the first half of Storm of Swords, so
Okay.
I don't really know.
Okay.
Um,
I'll ask around
yeah.
in the community and like see what people think. But
Yeah.
yeah, if there's kind of a natural stopping point there where I can kind of just yeah. Oh shit. I think you're in the minority, Jen. I think that that's not the common sentiment, but it's really cool to hear you say that because maybe I'll just continue. Obviously, it's a good book. People like Feast for Crows. Maybe it's Dance that people don't like as much because it follows some other. I don't know.
I think it's Feast. I
Yeah,
think Feast is the one. Yeah,
that gets weird.
people are not really. Yeah, people aren't
Yeah,
high
and
on.
then
I think either Feast or Dance.
that.
But
So that's the thing. I don't know. Dan, we are gonna reread them. It's a favorite series of RJ and I, and I don't know. I'm curious if it's gonna hold up. I haven't read the Of Blood and Bone trilogy that comes after. Interesting.
yeah,
Jimmy, while I have you, sorry to bother your very busy Booktube schedule. If you can opine on this, that would be great. I'm curious if I can stop after Storm of Swords. If I had to, I'm not saying I will, but if I had to fit in some other shit, some other books, and get back to Feast and Dance in like maybe 2 or 3 months, can I do that, or is it a weird stopping point? So maybe I'll just continue. It sounds like I'm in
yeah,
for a bit of a treat, and whether I like it better or not is irrelevant. I think it'll be a good book, and I'm going to come off the high of Storm of Swords, and definitely I'm loving the world, and it's become like a favorite series. Like I'm really enjoying it. So
yeah,
why wouldn't I continue? I'm just if I have to break something up or because the books are not short, so
yeah.
I could. It's good to know that I could if I wanted to. Hey John, nice to see you. Congrats on that new cover, man. That looks really sweet. I'll be checking out your book soon, I promise. Okay, cool. So they're very different from the show, and I love them a lot. That's what I've also heard. I didn't finish the show. I got maybe halfway through season 6 or something, and I think what I'll do is I'll finish the books and then do a re-watch of the series from the first. So that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I wonder. But yeah, we were thinking. So I haven't read Of Blood and Bone, which is the sequel trilogy that takes place 100 years after. Like it's the descendants of Faithful and the Fallen, basically. So yeah, I wanted to do a reread of Faithful and the Fallen with my homie RJ, because we both like it. See if it holds up, because I'm curious, but I'm always in for some Gwyn, especially after reading some David Gemmell and shit. Like I'm just in the Gwyn kind of mood. And then read that other trilogy and see how that goes too. Because I deliberately didn't want to finish all the Banished Land stuff. I'm like, I bought them and I was like, I'll do a reread before I read these. So yeah. Yeah, Jamie, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say Faithful and Fallen is, you can't quite replicate the magic. There's something about Faithful and the Fallen and those original characters, but I just want more Gwyn. I want more Banished Lands. I want to see how that story kind of wraps up and what happens in that world. You have to, Alicia. Yeah, you got to do it. It's good times. Some people, I mean, not everyone loves it, and it's not without its flaws. Like it's heartbreaking, but Alex didn't love it as a series. Jordan, who I used to be friends with until this happened, DNF'd Wrath, the last book out of 4, like 60% through or some shit, like halfway through, or like she read a chunk of it. She didn't like pick up Wrath and read 4 sentences and go, I don't really care. She like read a chunk of Wrath, I think. So I used to like her, and I think we're gonna start in the next couple months. So if you want to read Faithful and the Fallen, maybe we'll do a bit of a grimoire, kind of a Discord read along. We'll just put it out. It can be informal. I've heard the writing is like it is tighter, and it actually works better within that trilogy. But yeah, there's something about Faithful and the Fallen that wasn't really replicated there. I don't know. I wonder what I'll think. It's sort of like Era 2 and Mistborn. Like some people like it more, some people don't. Some people are avoiding it. I'm avoiding it because I don't know what I'm going to think. But when I'm in the mood for that, I'll pick that up. I'm just not going to go right there with Sanderson yet. I have other shit that I want to read with Sanderson. So yeah. Thought it was fine. Haven't gone further. Yeah. So you read the first book, John? The first Faithful and the Fallen book, or you read the first series? I'm curious. Because if you just read Malice, they do get better. Malice is a little, it has some technical issues, but it's good. But yeah.
I think sort of the for people who don't know, so the first half of Malice is kind of like, it's very much set up.
It's set up. It's tropey. It's orphan farm boy, hinting at a prophecy, hinting at a chosen one. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
I think it needs that. I don't think the series would hit for me anyway. No. It's hard if you didn't take the time to set it up.
Yeah, for sure. And I would agree that if you don't, or maybe I would posit that if you don't like classic fantasy at all, like if you read some of the older, like good versus evil, sword and sorcery kind of battle, fantasy, and you don't like that stuff, I don't know, you might not love it because it doesn't do anything revolutionary. It doesn't do anything, different, but it's just, I found it special. I liked the battle sequences. I liked the writing. I liked the plotting and the characters and the lands. It just felt special. And some of the tropes and stuff are subverted, and it goes a bit of a different way than you expect. And I appreciated that. It could have gone the way that I kind of thought it was going to go, which it kind of does. I mean, you're not going to be like blown away at the end, but there's a few twists and turns where you're like, oh, actually it's not this person, it's this person, or this person isn't this person, or whatever. So there's things like that where you're building up and then it kind of switches it on you, which is nice. And I think it does it quite well. But John, if you haven't read the next few books, you should maybe just pick up Valor at some point. I wouldn't drop your TBR for it, but pick up Valor at some point, and see. And if you don't like Valor, like Ruin is probably my favorite. I think Wrath is actually my favorite. Man, they just get good. But yeah, if you don't like Valor, you might be okay to just put it down. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we might. Oh, Jen's reading Valor this month. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I saw you did. I think you had Malice in your wrap up, and you thought it was all right. I think it gets better. My opinion. I just picked up Malice the other night at the bookstore. Super pumped to start it. Yes. Maybe wait 2 months, and RJ and I'll be there with you. And you know what would be? You know what, RJ? You know what would be cool? This is what would be cool. Let me tell you what would be cool. We should do this reread. I hate when people lead up like that, so I'm just joking. We should do this reread and have maybe the brothers Gwyn come on, and we should do kind of a Fateful and the Fallen chat because they're experts. They're of the Gwyn seed, so they've read it multiple times. And they can probably give us they have multiple videos too, their favorite moments of different books, their favorite characters. That would be really cool. To do that. Have you listened to the audiobook? Have you tried the audiobook? Because I think Malice in anticipation of the reread, because I'm just going to do audio this time. Have you heard the audio?
I've heard portions of it. I
think I sampled it before I bought it, but so I would have been like, oh, that sounds like trash, I won't get it. So it must have been okay. But I'm curious what it's going to be. Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, it didn't blow me away or anything like that. But as far as an audio
good
goes,
enough. It'll do.
It's good enough. You can listen to it and you can find
Anthony, I agree. It really does come into its own, and I think if I were to do a top 5 is hard, but like top 10 characters ever, Macklin would be 100% on that list. He might be in the top 5. If you're talking character arcs, if you're talking, I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just call it relationship, because that could mean anything. Like, his story is one of my favorite. Top 5 probably for sure. Trials of Ashmount. I've heard of that book, Trials of Ashmount. Some weird dude wrote that, but he's kind of nice. That would be cool. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Weird book. I think I have it. So I'm down to start the series. It's been on my shelf looking at me for a while. Yeah, they're up there. So I think what I'll do is actually buy the larger paperbacks as I go through them, because I have the smaller versions of them. And I don't love them, but they were a set, so whatever. But as I go through them, I might just buy them as the nice big floppy trade paperbacks to match my other Gwyn books from Orbit. So it's an excuse to spend more money. Basically, I'll be divorced shortly because this book haul that I did, and I need to figure it out. What was the last book that you bought? Or when was the last time you spent money on a bunch of books? Because usually we buy multiple books at the same time.
Yeah. When I buy books, I bought the last one. I bought hardbacks for books 2 and 3 of the Empires of Dust series.
Yeah,
so I've
cool.
The one I've read book 2 for.
Cool.
So I've got book 2 and book 3 in hardback.
Nice. Nice.
They're pretty good. I enjoyed the covers. Actually, I'll go over and get.
Yeah, go grab them for sure. I mean, weird in a good way. I'm weird too, man. Brothers Gwyn. So yeah, this is interesting. I think I might need to reach out to Brother Ed and Brother Will and see if they might want to do not a joint reread. Obviously, they would do their own reread, but maybe we'll reach out to them and say, hey, we're doing this reread. Sounds like you're doing this reread too. Maybe we'll do some chats on different books and stuff if they want to do that.
Yeah,
I want more eyes on that series. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay,
Bro. Hang on a second. Let me answer this. Give me 1
Okay.
sec. I read The Lies of Lochmora. I finished it a couple days ago, a day ago, whatever, and it was one of the best fantasy books I've ever read. I'm so annoyed that I waited so long to read it. It's one of those ones where I'm like, man, I wish I was part of that conversation earlier. Now I understand what people were talking about. I don't know the rest of the series. I think there's going to be 6 or 7 books. Obviously, we only have 3. So I'm a little worried now, loving it so much that I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm definitely going to read the other. In fact, I have the other two. They're right here. Wait, this is Lies of Locke Lamora. This is Republic of Thieves, and I have the other one here. Bam. See, I got all of them. So I'm gonna read them. I just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Have you read them, RJ?
I've read the first one, Lies
Okay.
of Lamora, and I
Okay.
was very mid on it.
Really? Okay.
really
So we used
was,
to be friends
yeah.
too. That's cool. I'm losing a
Yeah,
lot of people on this stream, it seems.
no,
That's okay. It's
that's-
fine. It's
yeah.
fine. We had a good run. It's cool. We
yeah.
have the Grimoire
It was-
together. We
it
can,
was-
yeah.
It was like the second fantasy book that I read. Like I was very early on.
I also did part audio, and that audiobook was incredible, I have to say. Yeah. Sorry, show me that book, man.
Yes. Okay. So this is the cover for book 2. The Tower of Living and
Bro,
Dying.
that's sick.
It's a pretty cool cover. And then
That
book
looks
3
cool.
is called The House of Sacrifice, and I actually kind of like it more. I think
It's
pretty-
so
pretty cool.
hang on. Is that book 3 and the other one is book 2?
Yeah,
Because they look very different.
they do.
You know what I mean? Like different style. I like both. I don't
Yeah.
really know which. I kind of like that one too. For some reason, I really like white covers. Like I like white with like just a few colors on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like those. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm the same. I love the UK Stormlight.
You were right.
covers. They're brilliant.
Yeah. Those are nice for sure. I also like the Lycanius books, like the covers on it. They're, you know what I mean? Like each one has a bit of a different color. And then most of it's kind of white and shadows and black and stuff. So yeah. Oh shit. Interesting. Okay. Apparently we're going to get some more Scott Lynch stuff. Pretty cool. Do you remember enough where you would go ahead and pick up the next book at some point, or were you like,
I did try Red Seas, but I DNF that. So
damn it. See you, John.
yeah.
Damn, really? Okay, well that doesn't bode well.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah. I guess it depends.
Yeah.
Like I guess I can pinpoint what worked for me. Like I thought the world building, the breadth of the lore, I thought was, interesting. Like it was really rich, and I thought the writing style was really impressive. Actually, the characters were interesting. Like the dialogue was funny. The atmosphere was kind of my vibe. I liked the setting. Like if you don't like the setting, don't like the atmosphere, don't really like the quips and the dialogue, it's not going to work. Like there are a lot of reasons why someone, I know I'm comparing. There's a lot of reasons why someone like Jay Kristoff doesn't work for people. Like I can literally be like, that's something people would hate. That's something. But like for me, it was like, whatever, that's cool. There's a lot of reasons why this book wouldn't work. But on the whole, this was very much my style. I really liked it. So yeah, I don't think I wonder if I'd find people that don't like Lies of Locke Lamora. Like I think more people would either love it or think it was just okay. I don't know if we'd find a lot of people that would be like, that book was trash. There might be a few. I loved his writing too. In fact, in my review, I pretentiously called it exquisite because I thought that was a nice word. And I wanted my review to sound exquisite. I thought it was amazing. I thought his writing was very, very good. It was really tight, and it was a very well plotted story. I loved it. So, yeah. Kazuo Ishiguro. No, I think I pronounced that kind of okay.
Yeah.
Border literary and science fiction fantasy. Interesting. No, I don't really know. The reason why I'm hesitating is because I kind of know that name, and I don't really know what that. Do you know what that is? Like who that is, or what he's written, or she? Is it
I've
manga?
heard the name.
Manga?
I don't think so. I've heard the name.
I'm confused.
Ishiguro,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure what he's written.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to Google that. David, no, I haven't. So are these books? This live stream is exquisite. Goddamn right. Never Let Me Go, Clara and the Sun, and Buried Giant. Interesting titles. I don't really know.
I think I've heard of Clara and the Sun. That name's familiar.
Yeah, people seem to have heard of it. So interesting. Very cool. Yeah, no, I haven't. Maybe is there one that you would recommend I start with? I'd be curious I always ask that when people recommend like an author or whatever. I'm always like, I'll do it, but like, where should I start? Because I never really know. But yeah. What's up, Shad? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, man. I don't know. What are you feeling like? Do you want to? How's your? Was that tequila over there again?
No,
You need
no,
another refreshment.
this is just like orange. Like I'm
Nice.
not
Cool.
drinking.
Nice.
Oh,
Orange flavored. No,
yeah.
that's cool. I think I have another sprint in me. I could go for a bit.
Hmm.
Again, I'm at the mercy of
Yeah,
this battery pack that I've plugged my camera into because like
yeah,
the cables and the things aren't working. So if we die and the camera goes away, that's cool. I have
yeah.
another sprint in me. It's 20 after the hour right now. So maybe we'll go. Why don't we do a longer one? Let's go right to the hour. We'll go right to the hour again
Yeah,
and do 40 minutes. And we'll
yeah,
come
sounds
back and
good.
wrap up and chill and get on with people's weekend. So sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Never
Yeah.
never let me go. I would recommend starting with seeing my taste. Cool. I appreciate that. Yeah. Maybe I'll check it out. In fact, I'll check it out. I'm gonna go make a coffee, and I'll be back. So enjoy. And I'll check out that book. Hey, hey.
Hey.
What's up? Thanks, Jen. Good to see you. Are you part of this readathon, RJ?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What team are you on? I forget. You're not on my
Tories.
team. Tori's team.
No,
Tori's got
Tories.
everybody.
I know.
Except for me, which is all that matters, I guess.
It's all that matters, isn't it?
We have Mike.
That's not too bad.
We got a couple. We got some heavy hitters. Yeah, I'm on Kayla's team, the Golden Bards, and it's cool. I guess. So Jen's leaving because I guess the results are being posted. I just logged my second book. My third book will be logged in the next 2 days probably, and then I'm gonna read Jade City. Jade War will be my fourth book. Reading half of Storm of Swords is kind of a book in itself, so I could probably only do the 4 for the readathon, and then Storm of Swords if I finish that as well, which I should. I only have like 20%. Each book so far has been max points, so each book so far has been 3 points. So I do the prompt, I get a bonus, and then I do a review. So even though I'm only doing 4 books, I should be able to get, what is that, three each? I think one is going to be 2, so it's like 11 points. Yeah. So it's not bad. But how are you doing so far? Not bad, right? For 4 books?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've done...
Max is 15, by the way.
Yeah. So I've put in 2. So I put in my second one today.
Cool.
That was only 2 points.
Okay.
So I got 5.
Okay.
So
what were your prompts for that one?
I did the first one was Morningstar. So continue your series, and then the bonus one was book published in the 21st century.
Okay, but if you do a review on it, then you get 3 points for that.
Yeah, so I did a review for that.
Cool,
on Goodreads.
Sweet, cool, man. Yeah, it's fun. I like the readathon. It's cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to remind people what you're reading, because it's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's kind of weird, yeah.
I'm reading it on Kindle, but I have a hardcover version of it, so it's
cool.
So the Tower of
I'm going to
Living
add that to my Goodreads. The Tower of Living and Dying. Yeah. How did you hear about this again?
This is book 2.
Yeah.
So book 1 is The Court of Broken Knives.
That's right.
That's what the first one's called. I can't remember where I heard it from. Because she's mentioned in the same circles as Michael R. Fletcher. So she's in that kind of bracket of author. I can't remember where.
Interesting. It gets a 3.45 on Goodreads.
I know. It's her writing style.
Yeah, which makes me think this isn't for everybody. Like it's select people are gonna really, really love it, and then I think some people are not gonna really understand it or vibe with it.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah. Her writing style is very weird.
It's kind of niche, yeah.
It's kind of different. It's kind of like
cool.
I don't want to say it's like Cormac McCarthy, but it's that she kind of goes out there.
Okay, yeah. It's a little different. Yeah.
Cool. I've seen a review on Goodreads, and they described her writing style as clipped, and I think that's a good word. Clipped.
Interesting.
Her writing. So she's just very, very sort of sporadic. Almost, she's just jumping from place to place. She doesn't spend a ton of time on stuff.
I've referred to. This is not comparing apples to apples in terms of complexity and writing and prose, but I refer to Blake Crouch's writing often as fragmented. He writes very fragmented. A lot of the sentences are fragments, and it's just very quick, kind of choppy. And grammatically, each sentence is kind of a fragment. Not all the time. It's a style, and it just adds to the pacing. But it rubs some people the wrong way. Like I look at some reviews on Dark Matter and stuff, and people are like, the writing, like it's just kind of like weird. So clipped is sort of a word I would use to describe his writing too sometimes. Yeah. But maybe in a different way. Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
How far into that book are you? Book 2?
I'm about 60 pages in. They're not 60 pages. They're not super long. Yeah, they're not super long. They're about I'd say about 500 pages or so.
Cool. And after this, you're reading Legend, right?
Yes.
You think? Okay, sweet. I can't wait to hear what you think about. So R. Scott Baker. I've heard that too. Does that sound right? I've been afraid to try R. Scott Baker.
Book one, The Court Broken Knife. She's not really like Baker, but starting with this reminds me a bit of the second book of Prince of Nothing, The Warrior Prophet.
Interesting.
It's starting to remind me a little bit. The more I read of her, the more I can kind of see Baker. It's not obvious, but
but it's there.
It's there.
Is it very complicated in terms of story structure and like even the prose? You said clipped, but is it difficult to read?
No, I wouldn't say it's difficult to read.
Okay.
If you have, I think her writing, I've done some of the audiobook as well, and the audiobook's done by the same guy who does the ones for Bloodsworn. Colin Mace, I think is his name, and he's very good. He does a good job. And her writing is a bit easier to digest on audio.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Broken Earth, fifth season in a way. You know the way if you listen to some of those second person chapters, sometimes on audio it's a bit easier to digest them.
Yes, I can see that.
Kind of the same.
I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool, man. Sweet. Well, I got to get going at some point, so I think maybe we'll wrap it here. But I appreciate you joining me, and I appreciate everyone else hanging out for the update and reading with us for a little bit. I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday, and I hope you got some reading in. Maybe had a few laughs at RJ's expense and mine, I guess. But yeah, it's cool to hang out. RJ, thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch all of you guys soon, probably here on the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.